In science fiction movies like Terminator, Oblivion, The Matrix, and many others, artificial intelligence is always portrayed as an overly conscious technology that ultimately perceives humanity as its enemy. While such an advanced AI was merely a fantasy for viewers of that era, institutions have changed.
I created you, Jack. I am your god.
And with each passing day, these machines' learning and processing power increases exponentially. Right now, as you listen to me, some of you might be thinking, oh, artificial intelligence affecting our lives is still years away. I may or may not live to see it, you might say. But there is a reality you are unaware of. An AI that most of you have never even heard of is currently in absolute control and management of one of humanity's most crucial concepts. And the company that owns this AI is considered one of the greatest enemies of society today. You may not know this machine, but you are very familiar with the person and the story from which it takes its name. Recently, there has been a flood of news and developments in the media and on social platforms regarding AI advancements. From an AI that won an art competition to another that crushed a human opponent in the world's most complex game, Go. We are surrounded by this technology. Of course, these are still baby steps compared to the ultimate goal of AI. Even we, the very creators of AI, cannot comprehend the full capacity of a fully evolved artificial intelligence when it comes to perception and problem solving. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, some of you may believe that such advanced AI systems are still decades away. However, there is a system operating behind the scenes that is already indirectly controlling the entire world, whether you are aware of it or not. Hearing this might lead you to think of a machine that controls military power or politics. But the system I'm referring to governs something far more fundamental and crucial to human civilization. If any of you closely follow economics or conspiracy theories, you have probably heard of the company BlackRock. For those who haven't, let me summarize. Founded in 1988, this shadow entity is one of the largest shareholders of all the well-known brands you use in your daily life. And I'm not just talking about tech companies like Apple or Samsung. Think of the world's largest food, pharmaceutical, energy, technology, and media companies. BlackRock is one of the major shareholders of these corporate giants and has influence over most of their management. In short, you know how movies always feature a massive corporation that owns everything? In today's world, BlackRock is the closest thing to that. The amount of money this company manages has reached an extraordinary $21 trillion. Now imagine the size and power of this corporation. Unfortunately, this company is not one that invests in the future of humanity with good intentions. It was one of the key players responsible for the 2008 American mortgage crisis. As major banks and corporations collapsed in 2008, the very firm that orchestrated the US government's bailout plan was none other than BlackRock. And by using the money printed by the government as if it were its own, it seized control of these failing corporate giants and their subsidiaries. Today, BlackRock is still managing government-approved financial rescue packages, much like those seen in 2008, such as inflation relief and pandemic stimulus packages. Trillions of dollars printed by the US Treasury are funneled into BlackRock, which then creates financial investment packages, known as funds, and sells them to individuals and corporations. Meanwhile, it also uses government-issued money to buy shares of major corporations through these investment funds, making them immeasurably richer. For example, the energy sector investment funds or food sector investment funds that you hear about in bank commercials. Even the banks selling these funds buy them from BlackRock. Experts warn that these investment funds have become an enormous bubble, and just like the 2008 mortgage crisis, they are expected to burst in the near future. And when that happens, BlackRock, which already gained control over major American and European corporations during the 2008 crisis, will have the opportunity to seize control of nearly every indebted bank worldwide. That's enough information about BlackRock for now. Let's return to our main topic. What does this company have to do with the super artificial intelligence I mentioned earlier? Let's take a closer look. When BlackRock was founded in 1988, another system was created alongside it. This software was designed to analyze investment opportunities and assess risk-reward balances. The company's name stands for Asset, Liability, Debt, and Derivative Investment Network, which describes a comprehensive investment management and trading platform. But in reality, it is far more than that. However, its English abbreviation is much more familiar and meaningful: Aladdin. Yes, just like the Disney character who embarks on adventures with his flying carpet. And as you all know, Aladdin's power and success largely come from the magical lamp he holds and the genie inside it. So, does BlackRock's Aladdin have a similar magical lamp and genie? Considering today's world, Aladdin's power far surpasses that of our beloved fantasy hero. As soon as the Aladdin system was launched, it was fed with data spanning the entire history of global finance and economics. This allowed it to provide detailed investment recommendations to its operators, advising them on where to invest during financial crises and what to avoid. Over the years, Aladdin's processing power and the number of datasets it analyzes have exponentially increased, directly improving its success rate in financial decision-making. Its groundbreaking performance during the 2008 financial crisis solidified its credibility. After seeing how accurate Aladdin's investment recommendations were and how fast its trading capabilities had become, countless international corporations began relying on Aladdin's infrastructure. On paper, Aladdin provides you with an extraordinary capability. For instance, let's say you are an international corporation planning a large-scale real estate project in Sri Lanka. Aladdin can analyze thousands of variables regarding Sri Lanka's and the world's future, and offer you this kind of advice. Over the next 10 years, due to climate shifts, 5,000 people will migrate to these specific areas in Sri Lanka. As a result, these particular political figures will gain power. Therefore, you should invest in this location on this date while strengthening your ties with these individuals. I simplified the explanation so you can grasp the concept. In reality, Aladdin delivers extremely detailed, multi-page reports. It's like consulting a fortune teller, isn't it? And the system's predictions are so insanely accurate that the companies using it see their profits skyrocket. Of course, while their profits might double, BlackRock's wealth multiplies 50-fold. But don't forget the crucial detail I mentioned earlier. BlackRock is one of the most ruthless organizations you'll ever come across, and they have far bigger plans for Aladdin. Even those of us who research conspiracy theories can only partially grasp the full extent of their agenda. Millions of people who have never heard of Aladdin or BlackRock will only understand their true nature when it's too late. Aladdin is now independently managing a $21 trillion global financial network based solely on its own analyses and decisions. From stocks to cryptocurrency, from real estate to investment funds, it can invest in anything money can buy. To put $21 trillion into perspective, the total amount of physical money in the world, including all paper bills and coins, is just $8 trillion. So if BlackRock suddenly declared, "We're closing shop today and withdrawing all our funds from banks and companies," the world simply would not have enough physical cash to pay them. Can you comprehend their absolute power? If they wanted to, they could bankrupt an entire nation's banking system in one single move. The year 2018 can be considered a milestone in Aladdin's evolution. An already incredibly powerful system was upgraded with the most advanced artificial intelligence technology available today. And this is an ongoing upgrade process that continues every year. The most critical aspect of artificial intelligence programs is their ability to analyze given data in an analytical manner, just like a human would. After this update, Aladdin's recommendations shifted from being mere investment advice to management strategies. Let me give you a few examples. After the Biden administration took office, former BlackRock employees were appointed to head both the U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve. And the entity advising these appointments was not a human, it was the Aladdin system. One of the most direct ways Aladdin's aggressive and empathy-lacking investment strategy affects you today is through skyrocketing housing prices. Housing prices are soaring worldwide. Have you ever wondered why this is happening? There wasn't a sudden population boom or any major crisis, so why have we reached a point where finding a home is nearly impossible? Honestly, I didn't know the answer either until I started researching for this documentary. But according to current data, BlackRock and its subsidiaries have become the world's largest real estate owners by far. Since the pandemic, guided by Aladdin, BlackRock has been buying up properties all over the world, especially in China. And don't just think of massive real estate projects. They are purchasing every available property, big or small, wherever Aladdin directs them. According to the latest data, the two primary countries Aladdin is targeting for investment are India and China. BlackRock is pouring tens of billions of dollars into these countries. And interestingly, these investments are primarily focused on two sectors: real estate and civilian surveillance systems. In other words, companies that build mass surveillance infrastructure for governments. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? They already control 90% of American media, they own companies and properties all over the world, or they become major shareholders in them. They are acquiring companies that build national security infrastructures, and they are already dominant in nearly every other major industry. So why are they accumulating all this personal and societal data? And what exactly is Aladdin processing this data for? If you think this is just about BlackRock and its founder Larry Fink, you are greatly mistaken. Every documentary I've watched describes Larry Fink as one of the most powerful men in the world, supposedly controlling everything. But no human being can possibly bear such an immense burden alone, especially for someone like Larry Fink, whose first major business venture ended in a $100 million debt disaster. If you look into his history, you'll see that after losing $100 million and going bankrupt, he suddenly re-emerged with a $5 million capital boost, forming BlackRock and launching Aladdin with the backing of certain influential groups. And within just 5 years, the company reached an $8 billion revenue. Anyone with even a basic understanding of economics can see that this is an impossible trajectory under normal circumstances. Such a rapid rise from rock bottom to the top is simply impossible. That's why, if you think this is just about BlackRock or Larry Fink's ambition to control the world, you are missing the bigger picture. Both Larry Fink and BlackRock are merely puppet figures presented to the public. They are just the visible tip of the iceberg. For years, BlackRock has been one of the most influential forces behind the World Economic Forum, and in every single meeting, they keep repeating one thing: the Great Reset. If you listen to their speakers at these meetings, you'll hear them openly state that their goal is to create a world without debt, without national borders, and most importantly, without the traditional monetary system as we know it. This isn't even a secret. They just don't tell you how they plan to achieve it. That's the secret part, at least for those who don't research it. Now let's connect the dots. We have a company that has made it its goal to own all companies, houses, and private lands in the world while utilizing the most powerful AI system in existence. This company controls nearly 3 times the total amount of all physical money in circulation and is richer than the wealthiest country in the world, the United States. It has infiltrated even the most highly regulated economies like China and India, taking over many corporate boards and influencing political leaders. Imagine this. BlackRock is one of the founding partners of China's tightly controlled social credit surveillance system. So, what do you think a company with this level of access, financial dominance, and asset ownership needs to do to successfully execute the Great Reset plan? All they need to do is follow through with their current strategy. Capitalism would collapse overnight, national economic systems would fail, and a new financial order based on zero ownership would emerge. My prediction is that we will all witness this unfolding firsthand before the 2030s come to an end. Based on my personal research and analysis, this is all the information I have been able to gather about the world's most powerful company so far. Stay tuned and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep watching content like this. Take care until the next video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. However, if you truly believe you've discovered the truth, don't forget to like this video.